Okay, so for our presentation, we're going to be talking about arming teachers and how that is affecting us in an upcoming election. Throughout our presentation, we're going to be looking at number one, overall student safety, but through student safety, there are multiple opinions about how we should approach arming teachers and if we should do that. So we're going to consider different perspectives, the pros and cons of arming teachers, people who should be armed, and where the Second Amendment and individual choice comes into play, and implications for arming teachers and not arming teachers.
So the first opinion we're going to go over is whether teachers who believe that they should carry guns or people who believe that teachers should carry guns. So the Gun-Free Zone Act, some believe, actually makes students easy targets for mass murders. And a lot of people who believe that teachers should carry guns believe that banning firearms on school campuses have failed in deterring armed assassins. So they believe that by arming teachers and administrators, the response time will be decreased along with the number of victims that die from gun violence.
All right, also talking about that teachers should carry guns. Those that do not feel comfortable carrying guns are not obligated to do so, so they don't have to if they don't want to. Those that choose to carry arms will undergo advanced training to ensure that gun safety is among the teachers and students, so students can't get harmed in the classroom, and that there is a proper procedure in place for all parties.
On the other hand, our other side we're looking at is teachers should not carry guns. Those who chose to become a teacher chose that profession to connect with students, and allowing them to carry firearms would put responsibilities on them that they are not prepared for in knowledge and experience. And there's a huge difference between giving guns to trained professionals such as law enforcement versus giving guns to teachers and other school staff members in order to protect their students. Teachers want to be armed with textbooks and not guns.
So to continue that point, they think that more accidents, more fatalities, and there will be more fear. So the National Education Association fears that a gun present in the classroom may end up being available to a student or faculty with a mental illness. It is believed that the presence of guns within the classroom will alter the positive learning environment necessary for students to succeed. So what's being described by the president and others sounds more like a prison to me, with the teachers as armed guards and students as prisoners, said the NEA vice president. Teachers believe that they should be focused on teaching the content curriculum rather than worrying about the whereabouts of a weapon and whether they would be able to access it quick enough in case of an emergency. So some quotes from teachers directly said Melissa Falkowski, who survived the mass shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, said the logistics of arming teachers makes no sense. A shooting like the one in Parkland, Florida happens in less than 3 minutes. She says, and having a gun that would have to be secured and locked somewhere in a closet and having to go for that gun and then having to use that against the shooter, it makes no logical sense. A French teacher said, my job is to connect with students and teach them a language, no shooting required. And another high school English teacher said, I'm a teacher and a gun owner with a concealed and carry permit, and I'd never want to bring a gun to my classroom.
So in conclusion, especially when thinking about people who are going to be representing our country and leading our nation, and the kind of values that you think that person should hold, and for us as future educators as well, how their decisions and gun laws would impact us. As a future educator, how would you feel being armed in your classroom or knowing that your coworkers could be armed in their classrooms? You could also consider the qualifications, responsibilities, and if it came down to it, could you potentially shoot one of your own students if they were the threat? Would you have trusted any of your teachers with a gun? That's also another thing to consider. Personal reflection, I'm not gonna, single anybody out, but, it's important to think about, and especially for parents sending their children to school, how would you feel knowing that their teachers could potentially have guns? And then, do more guns make schools safer for students? Next, we have a few images that show statistics about what teachers think about being armed. For the most part, the overwhelming majority of teachers say that they strongly oppose arming teachers. And again, teachers believe various proposals designed to toughen gun laws would be most effective. And so this is just a list of things that teachers felt would be more effective above arming.